Hi everybody, welcome back to another CYT-Crypto episode. My name is Stephen Aitchison. I hope you had a good weekend, whatever you were doing. I seen the kind of Bitcoin price yesterday obviously starting to go up a wee bit, went up to 3,600 from about 3,200, which is good, but it's starting to come back down again, so I need to wait and see what happens with Bitcoin. I don't hold out much hope that it's going to rise big time. Am I saying $10,000 by the end of the year still? I don't know. I haven't a clue. I can't see it happening. Can't see where it's going to come from, but I'll just kind of put it out there and just still say $10,000 by the end of the year. Okay, before we start, crush the likes, everybody. Crush those likes. Just go down to the like button and hit those likes and kind of grow the channel a wee bit more. Okay, I'm just going to see if we're live. Make sure everybody is in. I've seen Tim Gash was the first in this morning. You've got a few people in, which is good to see. Right, we'll just jump over to the chat area. Tim Gash, good morning to you, the first in this morning. Adverhagen, George Charles is in. Monkey Tomo is in. Gene, Stephen King, IoT Financial, William Hughes, Marcus Jafari, Andreas, Mark Innes, saying hello to Steve and a brilliant team. Good morning to you, Mark. Good to see you here. Mitch Dieter, Richard Cooper. Honest Crypto Journey is in the house as well. Okay, take a quick look at the markets overall. That's not the overall markets. I thought I had coin market up. So overall, we're up to $112 billion for the overall market capitalization, which is terrible compared to where it has been, but it's better than where it was. So that's good news. It's kind of gone up about $5 to $7 or $8 billion since the drop. Bitcoin dominance up slightly to 55.1%. And you can see here, aggregated price is 3,559 for Bitcoin. That's the aggregated price. We'll look at that more in depth as well, and it's up 1.66% over the last 24 hours. Who's the biggest riser? DEX, 61% is the biggest riser there, which is brilliant. Centrality, ALF is in, MadeSafe Coin, Mithril, Metaverse, ETP, all in double digits as well. And the greens are kind of outweighing the reds by, it's kind of 50-50. It's about 55-45. We'll just look at the next 100. And we'll see who's the highest there. We've got Mixin. I'm going to turn the Telegram. Or is it somebody trying to alert me to something? 1 second. Just going to make sure the sound is okay. Yeah, the sound is okay. Where were we? Yeah, Mixin. Byteball Bytes is up. Kin is up 9 or 10%, which is good to see. IDO, Ikonomi, PumaPay, Ender Protocol, Optimal Shelf is all up as well. So there's about 60-40 in the next 100 that are in the green. So it looks okay kind of when you look at the green and reds, but still kind of Bitcoin is down. We're just going to look at the Bitcoin price just now. 3,487 for the current Bitcoin price. This is using Bitstamp. Obviously USDT value will be different as well. Just look at USDT. This is on Binance. 3,502. There's not that much difference actually, which is good, but it's going in the right direction. That's the main thing. So we can see here on the hourly chart, if we're just trading on the hourly chart, which you can do if you're a short-term trader, you can trade on the hourly chart. It kind of crossed over, 70 EMA crossed over. We've got it set at the 50 EMA or the 100 EMA. It crossed over at 3,441. Could have got a $200 increase there. It's not crossed back down over yet. So if you're trading like that, I get in on the hour and out on the 15. If you're trading on the 4 hour, in on the 4 hour and out on the hour, if that makes sense. So if you were coming in here, say for example, you look at the hourly chart, you get in the crossover, that's like a confirmation crossover. Again at 3,441, go down to the 15-minute chart, and you would have gotten out to 3,549, which would have been a good wee increase there of 4% if you're kind of trading on the hourly chart. That's why I do it anyway when I'm trading. I'm not actively trading just now. I've got positions open. At the moment, I took one yesterday, a position finally in ADA, in Cardano. So just see where Cardano is just now. And I thought, okay, we'll just go longer term here. I think Cardano is going to do well longer term. And I think at these prices, you just can't go wrong. It's still going down right enough, 865 for Cardano, near its all-time low. Well, not its all-time low, but near its certainly yearly low. We'll just look at the daily chart. Yeah, all-time low is about 600, 550-ish since it came on Binance, that is. I'll just have a look. Low of 570. Yeah, so 570 is all-time low since it came onto Binance. That was over a year ago. All-time high. Where's this all-time high? Just get it here. All-time high is 8,788, so 10x from where it is just now. So I managed to get into ADA. It's still going down just now, but I thought, okay, that's fine. I just think this could kind of bounce big time here. And I was saying an article yesterday, I think, or today, this morning, or yesterday, from James, one of our admins, talking about ADA as well, but it wasn't a particularly well written article, but the information on it was good as well, so thanks very much for that, James. So yeah, it's still going down. Looking at the charts, you would not be touching ADA just now. You wouldn't be touching it with a barge pole, and you wouldn't have been touching it since 3000 Satoshi. Looking at the kind of crossovers, you would just not be going for that just now. But as it's still got a little bit to fall, it could have, it certainly looks like it, looking at the charts. Looking at daily charts, we look at the 4-hourly charts, same again. There have been some signs of it coming back, but not that much. But I just think at these prices, I think we're near the bottom for the year, close to the bottom. So I think about 800 is close to the bottom. It's got some support around about 845, some support, and it's a weak support as well. But we need to wait and see what happens. Just make sure we're in okay. Made about 20% shorting BTC over the weekend on his crypto journey. Brilliant. Excellent. Mark Paulin, if I go to BTC, the 3 biggest banks in the world doesn't care people, so now it's time to pay the price. Hope France will go all the way. Haven't a clue what you're talking about, Mark Paulin. Terrell Hooker is in. Hyphen Lee is in as well, don't panic. Mr. Mannering. G-Slick, hi all kins, moving up slowly. Yeah, it's doing good. It was doing good, 10% up just now, but that's after a kind of a long-term kind of fall for kin. But I think long-term, talking 1 to 2 years, I think it's going to be safe. I'll just look at have some of the kind of highlights on Binance. DNT, big riser there for DNT. Kind of rose about 55% if you manage to get in, close to the bottom, round about 300. Which is good. So DNT going to be listed on Coinbase with the news for that. Metal is going up just now. It's just going up at the moment, just about to cross over. So that could be another bounce for Metal. From this level, it could be a bounce going back up here of 50% for Metal as well. It did get up to 11,483 before. So now it's 7,500. Kind of went down to 6,700. Looking at the hourly chart, yeah, it's crossed over, so it looks as if it's going to go back up for Metal, even more than the 8% it's gone up already. ADX is up as well, and Engine Coin is going up. That's just a beautiful chart for Engine Coin. If you look at over a kind of longer period, just a lovely chart over the last couple of weeks. Mana is going up as well, which is good to see. OST just starting to kind of rise just now, 2.92%. If you're looking for kind of bigger gainers, I think you could do well by looking at the ones that are just coming into play just now, like OST. That could go up even more and could be one of the big risers. AWPC, that's just crossing over, that could be one of the big risers as well. Gas You could still trade gas and still going up. NEO's doing well at the moment. KMD, that was a big riser yesterday. You can see here, I don't think I'd be going for that at the moment, but it could be a bounce up over the 50 EMA. And also Loom was a big riser as well with that news. Wings just crossing over, that could be a big riser for today, up 1.42%. So if you're looking to day trade, I think it's good to look at the ones that are just coming into play, and I'm talking about just going into green, i.e. rising, say above 0.5% or something, and looking at them, or looking at your lowest ones. ELF just now coming down, that could be a bounce. AST going down to near its all-time low, or this yearly low as well, so there's lots of opportunities to still trade. Oh, you don't want to see that, that's on hot. Yeah, still lots of opportunities to trade as well. Just jump back to the chat. Gavin Mearns, good morning to you. Mark Innes, saying that hi from Lee, haha. Liam Hunt is in this morning as well, good morning to you. Okay, we'll look at some of the news just now. Ethereum Constantinople hard fork to come in mid-January based on devs' new agreement. So there's been a new agreement between all the devs and Ethereum, and this is following kind of Ethereum's price drop. We'll just look at Ethereum just now, where it's just now down to about $90. Unbelievable for the Ethereum price drop. $90 at the moment, and it has gone to as low as about $80. So I think Ethereum are just getting their arse in gear and just coming together, just saying, okay, we need to agree this kind of hard fork. This is the Ethereum Constantinople, and really what's going to happen there, the big thing that's going to happen there is a proof of stake for Ethereum as well. So that's a big thing. So the co-developers have agreed to launch the long-awaited Constantinople hard fork at block 7,080,000, which is mid-January, round about mid-January. The new agreement follows the previous decision to delay Constantinople fork for late January 2019 due to a consensus issue that occurred during the upgrade trial on Ropsten testnet in October. So I think it's given the press, obviously, of Ethereum and everything. Everybody says, oh, it's going to die, everything, something else is going to take over Ethereum. And Justin Sun is trying to get in there as well, inviting everybody over to his kind of blockchain as well. And so I think they had to come together, which is a good thing. So they've got 8 teams really working. 8 teams are sprinting to build the next generation of Ethereum. So it's kind of Ethereum 2.0, but it's still going to use the basis of what it's got just now, obviously. And the main things it's going to be using a switch to proof of stake from the current energy-intensive consensus protocol known as proof of work. Implementation of a network-wide scaling solution called sharding, which is good. A revamping of the Ethereum virtual machine, the engine responsible for deploying decentralized applications, dApps, on the blockchain to run on new programming code known as WebAssembly, WASM. So that's the main things that are going to come out. So there's about 5 to 8 new things that are coming out for Ethereum. And finally they're coming together and they're going to be releasing it around about mid-January for Ethereum. Is that good news? Is it too late for Ethereum? I don't think so, to be honest, but we need to wait and see what happens with that as well. Could somebody else come up and overtake Ethereum for that? This was a piece of news I was kind of disappointed in, but I don't think it's not big news for crypto space. 80 million ICO 10x founder linked to pyramid scheme, says report. This is 10x president Julian Hosp has reportedly been implicated in connection with Lioness, an Austrian discount shopping service that has been declared an illegal pyramid scheme in Norway, Austria and Switzerland. So I think he's been connected with that. I think he's apologised already for that. But it was just kind of disappointing for me because I really like Julian Hosp, what he's doing as well. And his kind of reports that he's got out and just intelligence about kind of blockchain in general as well. So disappointing, but not huge news. I don't think it's going to do that much damage. I don't know where 10x is actually. I'm just going to see on CoinMarketCap. I've not had a look at it in a while. I did kind of sell them. Now it's not doing anything to the price, which is good. Although the price is way down, it can't do much more damage, to be honest. But it's in the news, so I thought I'd share that with you. Researcher warns investors of possible Bitcoin Cash double spending attack. So termed as the original Bitcoin, Craig writes Bitcoin SV Hardfork of BCH did not exactly pan out as he wanted, and it seems that this cryptocurrency is not as secure as he's claimed. So this is about a double spending attack, and I'll post all these links for you in the comments as well. What's Bitcoin Cash SV and ABC going to do in Bitcoin Cash itself? I'm not really bothered. To be honest, I don't really care. I know a lot of people are kind of trading it just now. I refuse to even trade it. I've seen it kind of going up last week as well, and I've seen a kind of an opportunity for it to go up, and it did go up, but just out of principle, I'm just not trading it at all. And I said I would trade kind of anything that's going to make me money, but I realised that's not true. I just don't want to trade something like that. This is certainly about egos, and he's damaged the reputation of cryptocurrency as a whole. Craig Wright and Roger Byrne, people like that as well, they're involved in this kind of these hash wars. I know I've said it before, but I just refuse to get kind of involved with it at all. And I could have made a lot of money last week as well trading this, but I just refuse to do it. And my principles just say, right, no, don't do it. Just don't trade it, don't touch it at all. And that's why I don't really kind of talk about it. So we'll see what happens with this as well. But I know a lot of people are into it, so I have to kind of mention it. Dash to survive crypto winter, not at risk of shutdown. I think this is going to happen a lot as well. That a lot of people are getting worried just now. Worried as a whole. They're talking about Bitcoin going to zero, talking about Dash, they're talking about Ethereum, talking about Neo, they're talking about the big ones, they're talking about alts going to zero. This is actually a good thing. This is when everybody is really, really fearful, and this is when there's going to be amazing opportunities for you, because you've been in the kind of game for a long time now, and there's going to be some, even at Bitcoin prices just now, Bitcoin prices at 3,400, 500 or whatever, even if it goes down to 2,500, we keep saying dollar cost average in and you'll be fine for the future. So there's going to be a lot of news stories like this, as you're going to see it more and more if the Bitcoin price keeps on going down. Bitcoin is finished, cryptocurrencies are finished, blockchain is just starting, literally just starting. It's literally just starting to overtake kind of everything. The way we work as we know it is just starting just now, literally just starting. Don't mean literally this second, but so I'm not saying literally, but it's just starting, metaphorically just starting. So you're going to see a lot of stories like this as well, but don't panic. Don't panic. You hopefully know what the future holds, although nobody really does. But you know what I mean, we're taking a big, not a big risk, but we're taking the view that cryptocurrency is certainly going to survive and thrive, and same with blockchain, is definitely going to survive and thrive. It can't not. So therefore we don't pay attention to these kind of stories. But similarly, this was about Justin Sun wants to rescue dApp developers from Ethereum and EOS. Of course he does. He's trying to get everybody over there as well. This was, again, this is kind of the opposite side of the kind of angle about kind of Bitcoin going to zero. BTCC co-founder Charlie Lee hints at 333,000 Bitcoin and BTC price prediction for 2021. This is Bobby Lee, not Charlie Lee. Yeah, Bobby Lee issues tweet storm, hints at crazy Bitcoin BTC prediction. So, like, there's a lot of people saying Bitcoin is going to zero, Bitcoin is just going to crash, it's just going to go away. You've got people like Bobby Lee saying it's going to go to 333,000. Obviously, you've got the $1 million kind of valuation as well for Bitcoin. I don't know how on earth they get these kind of prices, where they would get these prices at all. But we'll just say Bobby Lee is saying if history repeats perfectly, then the current bear market for Bitcoin would bottom out 2,500 next month in January 2019, and then the next rally would start in 2020, peak out in December 2021 at 333,000, and then crash back down to 41,000 in January 2023, something like that. And then smiley face. So this is his justification of the price of 333,000, but it's kind of crazy. History doesn't repeat itself because the fundamentals have totally changed as well for Bitcoin. I think it would be brilliant to see that price. It'd be brilliant to see $1 million, but I'm not kind of disputing the fact that it could go to $333,000. It's just them where they pull these figures from. But it does make for kind of headlines as well. And this was interesting news. Binance launches subsidiary account for institutional investors. So on December the 6th, cryptocurrency exchange heavyweight Binance announced the launch of its sub-account support exclusively for institutional traders. Binance revealed that multiple requests put forward by Binance users prompted the exchange to introduce the feature. So according to the official Binance blog, and I'll put a link to the blog post as well, the upgrade will enable several entities to set up multiple sub-accounts under one organisation and provide control of access to one master account, and only that account will be able to control the other accounts under it. Apart from that, the exchange will provide a set limit to API limits for every sub-account. So I was getting into kind of more details there as well, but it's interesting that Binance are getting in on the institutional investors coming in as well. But my kind of issue, it's not an issue, my kind of thinking on that or looking at it would just be, okay, where is the kind of liquidity? So the liquidity is a big thing as well. So if the institutional investors are going to come in and they want to say sell 500 Bitcoin, where is the market for that? If it's just in the normal market. So I don't know why they would come in as an institutional investor. So I'm going to have to kind of look into that more as well. And just thought this was interesting news. Putin to buy oil with a cryptocurrency ? Is this a smokescreen or a new era in financial geopolitics? So politics are becoming more and more involved in the cryptocurrency space, as we know, with the kind of regulations, SEC and stuff like that. That's undoubtedly politics, obviously, as well. But this is the start of kind of maybe something new as well. Obviously, if the US kind of have sanctions on certain countries, which they do just now, I'm not saying Russia, but the US have kind of sanctions, can they get around it with the likes of using cryptocurrency? And I think that's going to happen more and more, which means the bigger countries lose their power. That's the politics side of things. Okay, we'll go back to price, and this is Ethereum. We'll just go back to BTC price. 3,481. This is Bitstamp on the hourly chart. Okay, who else is in? Nora Perez, nice to see you live in this bear market. Cardano is for investing for the long term. Glad you joined the ADA gang. Yeah, I think I've been looking at it for ages. I've been talking about it for ages. And there was a couple of ones I thought, okay, I'm just going to go in for... I was looking over the weekend and kind of from Thursday, Friday onwards, I was thinking, okay, what have I been kind of really kind of raving about? Binance Coin was one of them. Cardano, certainly one of them. Ethereum I still think has got a bit to fall, to be honest, but I still think Ethereum's going to do fine. Bitcoin, obviously, as well. You could just kind of invest in Bitcoin all day, every day. That would be fine. And talking about investing in it, not trading it, but it'd be good to have one for the longish term as well. And I think I went with Cardano when I seen it falling to around about 860 Satoshi. I thought this is just kind of criminal at these prices, just particularly with what they're doing, what's coming out in the future, transaction per second, just all that kind of stuff. Looking at it, I thought, okay, I'm going to go with Cardano. So I used the kind of trading money I had for that and put it into Cardano. So finally kind of got into it. I've been talking about it long enough. Benjamin Key is in the house. Pete Wallace is in. What's your plan now, Steve, to hold for the next 4 to 5 years or take profits? It depends what happens. So the plan is, so I was talking to my wife Sharon, and we're talking about the future because I was looking at all my pensions kind of this weekend as well, and from Thursday onwards I was looking at all the pensions and looking at what we can take out and kind of planning for the future. And I've said to kind of Sharon, okay, just forget about the cryptos and just say the cryptos have gone to zero. They've just gone to zero. So essentially what I'm going to do is hodl. So I'm just going to hodl. Obviously there'll be a bit of, I'll be trading as well, just with a small amount. I'll be doing that as well, but essentially hodling. So we're going to be kind of obviously hodling BABB. I've kind of looked at BABB, been in BABB for a while. So I'll be hodling that. The likes of Howdo as well. So I've got things for the long term, and I think that could take a year, 2 years to come to fruition. If the likes of BABB come up and they go to like 400, 500, 1000 Satoshi, obviously I will be selling, or partly selling into it and kind of taking the profits, and looking at kind of obviously paying off mortgages. That's what we're doing just now, trying to look at paying off mortgage. My mortgage just now, our mortgage, we've doubled down already. So that'll be paid off by the time I'm 59, totally paid off, but I want it done sooner than that. So if the likes of BABB in the next 4 to 5 years went to 1000 Satoshi or 500 Satoshi, I'll take some profits. Obviously, I've learned from the previous kind of markets what happened there back in December last year. So I'm going to take some profits, obviously, as well, trade with some, and kind of put into the mortgage as well. We're still moving house, although nothing's happening with that just now. So we'll be taking on a bigger mortgage to get a smaller place, but it's in a nice area kind of Glasgow, and that we're going to do that. So obviously I'll be looking at paying off the mortgage there, hopefully within 4 to 5 years as well, by the time I'm 55. Take my pensions at 55, which is not that much, and kind of write books. That's my plan from the age of 55 onwards. It was to write books, but I've got a book in the works just now, plus the kind of business I've got just now as well. Love doing what I'm doing, so that's the plan for the future. Just now, hopefully Sharon can give up her work as well, and we can live comfortably if we can pay off that mortgage. Using crypto would be fantastic. Should have done that this year, back in April. I should have just taken out everything, paid off the mortgage, and just traded with maybe $50,000 or something, but I didn't. So that's the plan for just now. Oh yeah, I was going to look at, where is it? Where the hell is it? The tab. There it is. I was on it already. So I'm just wondering if that is up to date. Just look on the hourly chart. So this is Howdo at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yes, that's right. So 451 Satoshi for Howdo, which has gone down, which is not that great, but they've not even released the product yet. Once they release that product, I'm going to be speaking to Chris as well from Howdo and try and get my kind of stuff onto the back end system. So that'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to that. See what happens with Howdo, but I do believe in Howdo for the long term. For the moment, I think everything's looking well for them just now. BABB have obviously released a statement. They're not going to be able to, they've not released a statement, but they've come out and said they're not going to be able to kind of get the Lithuanian license before the end of this year, because one of the kind of clauses in that for the Lithuanian license is they need a specific kind of, like a chief officer in place before that Lithuanian license can actually go through. But they've got everything in place, so Q1 2019 I would imagine they'll have the Lithuanian license, and then take it from there, just evaluate it from there as well. I'm just going to make sure that's the right one. BTC. Yeah, because I was looking at this channel. They're still well within this channel just now, and I'll just look at the kind of order books. So this channel, which has been going on for a long time for BABB, between 9 and 11. Just look at the order books just now for that, and that's KuCoin. That's hash in it. Hash trade. BTC. So it's gone down. Gone down a wee bit. So to buy at 10 Satoshi, there's only 3 million, so there's been a lot of sales obviously at 10 Satoshi. So it was set between 11 and 12 for a bit. I've got between, sorry, there was a lot more kind of buys in at 10 Satoshi. There's about 30 million. So it's gone down a wee bit from there. So that might come down in line with the market obviously as well. Wait and see what happens. Digitech futures. I don't know what's happening with that. I've not looked at it recently with regards to when they're coming out with the exchange. I've not heard anything else. It's probably news in the works. 1031, nothing has changed there according to coin signals. So it's kind of gone up slightly and come back down, so it's just trading sideways at the minute as well. What else are we into? Metamorph. I've not looked at them this morning either. Metamorph are down to 148 Satoshi at the moment, which is not good considering we're up to about 200. And it fell to about 118. So Metamorph not doing so well either, obviously with market conditions. Just see where they are with regards to market capitalization. 348,000, not good for Metamorph at the moment. So I'll still stick with them. Just now I still think they're coming out with good news all the time, and they're adding more and more features to their exchange as well. Or not the exchange, the platform. So still believe in them just now. Obviously with market conditions, everything is going to be coming down. What else have I missed? Let's see. So Alex Jug, hello to you. A bit late today. That's cool, but still here. BTC Stacker, where do you get those prices? They pull out of I know exactly. Exactly, they do kind of just literally, but it seems as if obviously it's tried to justify it by looking at kind of previous kind of markets and things like that, but I don't know the exact figures how they get them. Just like there's a bug in Tron they're ignoring. I've seen a guy live scanning the codes on Tron and other coins, and bet is a lot of cut and paste ETH programs. I didn't see that, just like David Schwartz, hello, hope I haven't missed much. You've nearly missed the whole show, David. Because I'll be finishing up kind of probably a couple of minutes time. BTC will never die, reason of it, no more BTC, no more internet, so possible BTC will stay for the rest of humanity. I'm sure about it, 100%. I'm very optimistic. Excellent, Mac Pawn. Imran, hi Steve, mate, good morning to you, good to see you here. Pete Voss, nice one mate. Imran Chowdhury, stay cool, BTC is cycling downwards, please stay away from the short time frames, those will make you lose 100%. That's from Imran. Jason Ray, hello to you. Honest Crypto Journey, a nicer area of Glasgow. So do you mean Edinburgh? No, I didn't say a nicer area of Glasgow. I said a nice area of Glasgow, which is probably one and the same thing. No, not Edinburgh. Not Edinburgh. Anyway, just my biased opinion. Do your own races, put your big boy pants on, etc. I love Edinburgh. Totally love Edinburgh. Obviously, I was born in Edinburgh. In a lovely area of Edinburgh. It's a very posh area called Wester Hailes, and you won't get that unless you know Edinburgh. Mohammed Ahmed, Steve, what's the best coins to get in for the long term as everything is cheap? Which can 100x or more in long term? Nobody knows that. Nobody really knows at all. So really you're taking a risk with everything. If you want to kind of get in for the long term, according to Bobby Lee, Bitcoin is going to 100x from here by December 2021, so you might want to, I would maybe stick with Bitcoin. Stick with Bitcoin because of the uncertainty just now, and see who's going to come out on top after this kind of market meltdown kind of finishes, or this long bear market finishes. See who's going to be around, see who's going to be doing the updates, see who's going to be doing everything else as well. So for the moment I would stick with the big ones, the likes of Bitcoin, but I'd just be totally biased opinion that I would have to tell you to get into anything else. Obviously I'm biased towards BABB, Metamorph, kind of Howdo and Cardano as well. I'm very biased towards it because I'm invested in it. So of course I'm not going to be able to give you brilliant advice, but there's loads of projects out there that could literally 100x. You just have to kind of look into them. But I would stick with kind of Bitcoin just now if you're going to be investing for the long term. Aloysius de Klerk, cheers everyone. Hope you have a good day. You as well, Aloysius. Mark Innes, Metamorph. Ross Davison, House It. House It? Do you mean how do? Graham Law, morning Stephen all. Good morning to you, Imran. This is a dot-com boom moment where the right choices will make you for life. I think that's what's happening just now, and that's why everybody's kind of uncertain just now. So the dot-com boom, if you were thinking, because everybody was talking about Apple going to zero, everybody was talking about Amazon going to zero, and they're talking about all these, and Microsoft going to zero. But if you stuck with the likes of Microsoft and Apple and Amazon and Google and companies like that through the dot-com boom, you'd have been a multi-millionaire by now if you stuck with them and bought a dollar cost average in on them. And I think this is what's kind of, and I think a perfect point, this is what's happening with kind of cryptocurrency just now. So who are you going to choose? Who are you going to choose as the kind of big ones? Is Ethereum still going to be here? Bitcoin, we can safely assume that Bitcoin is still going to be here. Binance, I think they're going to kind of blow up as well. I think Cardano are going to do really well. Again, obviously biased, I've just got into them, but I've been saying that for a while. Neo, so you have to kind of choose. You have to kind of choose and stick with them and just kind of do your own research. But I think it's going to be the bigger guns that you're going to be looking at, or the bigger players in the market just now. And looking at, is Tron going to be here in 10 years' time, or 5 years' time even? Cryptocurrency space, kind of space-time continuum for cryptocurrency is different. Well, it's not really, but you know what I mean. Wester Hales, Edinburgh's Maryhill. Yes, definitely. So you know exactly where it is. Yeah, I was kind of brought up in Wester Hales. I was brought up there. London Bobby, Aloha Steve, Konbanwa. Konbanwa, is that how you say it? I thought it was Konnichiwa. What do you think of Mt. Gox? Are they finished selling? Haven't a clue. I've not looked into that for a while. Obviously, a couple of months ago they were still selling through the courts and stuff like that as well. But I don't know. Zilliqa, Icon, OneChain. Yes, all of them I like, but are they going to be here for the future? That's the thing we've got to kind of ask ourselves. For trading, short-term trading or shorter-term trading, it could be brilliant. But I do like OneChain, I do like Icon, I do like Zilliqa as well. I like all of them. What's your thoughts on AI decentralized like Singularity Net? PS, love your Steve Aitchison channel and your great insights. Thanks very much, Pete. I really appreciate that. On decentralized like Singularity Net, I don't have any kind of thoughts, to be honest. I've not looked into it enough. How's it? It's like a greeting here in SA. Ah, right. Sorry. How's it? I thought you meant how do. So how's it? So South Africa. Like saying, how's it going? Excellent. So thanks for that. That was from Ross Davidson, so saying, how's it? I thought he was getting mixed up with how do. How's it? Zimbabwean, hello. Right, I'm with you. Got you now. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for the moment. Overall, I still think we are going up big time for the markets. I really do believe we're going to go up big time. At the moment, short term, we still may have somewhere to fall. We're falling just now again, 3,447. We might see that 2,900. We might see that 2,500. But long term, I still 100% believe in kind of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as well, and especially the blockchain technology and what difference it can make in the world and what difference cryptocurrency can make in the world just now. I think the stock markets, very quick look at the stock markets, they're going to pot just now. They're going to absolute pot at the moment. We'll look at UK FTSE. What's happening with that just now? It's not letting me click onto it for some reason. There we go. 6,750, and it did fall to 6,673. Honestly, we are going to have a big, huge economic collapse in the world, I think, within the next couple of years. And it's going to start with the stock markets, then it's going to start, the house prices are going to start falling. We've started to see it in London already. This is just a start. And I don't know if cryptocurrency is going to fall with that, or they're going to be made because of that. This is the thing I can't kind of figure out. Is there going to be a correlation between cryptocurrency rising and kind of economic collapse kind of happening? But I do think there's going to be a big kind of economic collapse, and this is what I was doing over the kind of weekend, as I said in last week, really planning for my future should there be a big economic collapse. So one of the things we're talking about, just to kind of end this here as well, one of the things we're talking about, instead of buying another house, when we sell this one, instead of buying another one, should we just rent for the moment and wait a couple of years until we buy? Obviously you're paying somebody else's mortgage, which I don't like. Should we just rent for the moment and wait a couple of years until... So if we were going to kind of the West End of Glasgow, for example, house prices on average around about £400,000 or £500,000. So if we waited, the house prices on average in the West End could be like £300,000 in a couple of years' time. But it's taking a risk, and plus I'd be paying somebody else's mortgage. So I'm fully expecting a big economic downturn, hugely over the next couple of years, around the world. We're starting to see it just now. We're really starting to see it just now, and that means house prices are going to fall. Student loans are going to be a nightmare as well. Student loans are going to be the next kind of housing kind of thing as well. When you talk about the banks betting on the kind of housing market, I think they've done the same with kind of student loans as well, because it's billions of dollars in student loans, and I think a lot of people are not going to be able to pay it back. Who's going to pay it back? It's going to be a difficult one, so that's just going to be another thing as well. There's loads of things going on that we don't really kind of think about. I just think there's going to be a huge economic downturn, and cryptocurrency might really rise because of that economic downturn, and save the kind of the world markets as well. But that's just my opinion. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for the moment. Have a brilliant day whatever you're doing today, and I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. And until next time, namaste. Take care. Bye now.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits,